this video, what I want to do is talk to you about the 5 steps that I am taking right now in order to turn leads into customers and 10% of those customers into clients. After having a really cool realization when we hired a bigger accounting team, I had one of the best years, let's say in 2025 in my career solo. And I love to look at data. So one of the data points was this right here. If you can see, that's my Calendly, where I had 2,420 events done. So those were me doing low ticket to high ticket consulting with some of the biggest brands and biggest companies in the industry, primarily one person operators who came to me through my LinkedIn featured section. And I just called this a game plan. It's been something that's been in my world circulating for, I would say, since 2023, but even during my agency days, I had that game plan call. I used to call it a power hour, where people would just book, talk to me. I'd give them a game plan on what they need to do, so on and so forth. And then, as I give them the what, they would then come back and say, hey, Jacob, do you have capacity to show me how to do it? Or basically, is there a go faster button where you're in my corner and you can help me execute? And the answer is yes. And that entire thing over 2 years became 550K. And that is excluding, upsells and continuity and retainers and that entire model. So when I saw that account, I was like, wow, I've gone through thick and thin and done so many, roller coasters, because I am in the low to high ticket space. I have a consultancy called Modern Maker, currently have 250 plus clients. So I've seen a lot of offers, but I too have had my own funnels, and I realized 2026 is how I'm going to basically lead with simplicity, because the data doesn't lie. When someone gets on a call with me and I give them a game plan, they're more likely to ascend. If they don't ascend, then they pretty much follow me or like buy my digital products or maybe book another game plan call once they've started implementing. So I was very abundant in the way that I did that, but I started to look at it with a little bit of a systems brain or a hat, if you like, over January. And I was like, how do I make the best out of this? So just before Christmas, what I did was I drew this little doodle and I said, when I give someone a game plan and then they say, can I go faster? That's sort of like the fast lane, right? So the constraint here was me. Like, I had a daughter recently, so I'm very cautious of my calendar, and I only take calls 3 times a week. And I don't take sales calls. I only take paid consults or do client delivery calls as a consultant myself. But I had to live by that constraint. So in order to do that, my capacity is limited, even though that is my best revenue generating model. I'm building a life first business. So I don't want to fall into the same trap that made me quit my agency. I had an agency for 9 years. It did 7 figures, but I was living in my calendar. I wasn't happy. I was miserable. I was basically doing lots of money, but not living, right? And I don't want to go back to that mentality and bring that again. So what did I do? I created this little doodle that I want to run you through today. So you're probably hearing doggies left, right, and center. That's all right. You'll probably meet them in this video. So anyway, this is the 5 steps that I've taken in order to achieve what I'm telling you, right? And I want to run you through what did I do in a game plan? What does it look like now, just to give you a little bit of insight. So right now we're undergoing a cycle in the market where people are at maturity stage. So I grew on LinkedIn from 2023 to 24 and onwards, and it was very easy, right? You could just blast a carousel, do whatever, and it would go viral. And of course, I rode those waves, but I came from Facebook. I came from the agency world. I understood ads, and I've seen the same cycles repeat over and over and over again. So what used to work doesn't work anymore because people are tired of education. People want entertainment. And you'll see that on platforms now, organically entertainment content is absolutely smashing it because people want to feel stuff. They're tired of consuming. So the strategy content that used to work now is just being swiped by. Sure, maybe you've experienced the same thing, but why I say this is because when you look at this game plan from a more sophisticated lens, i.e., somebody who runs ads, it's very direct response driven, and people who've already seen something over and over again need to compete. And if I was just getting started and I didn't have any testimonials, the thing that I could compete with is a unique method. And that is what this little doodle does first. So a unique method is a way or a process that you do certain things. So in my world as a marketing consultant, for example, the way that I get someone to turn from a lead to a customer to a client doesn't involve sales calls, doesn't involve booking a Calendly link. It basically gets someone to buy a small snack, right? That is basically something you're already teaching your clients in a one-to-one way. And then once I get you to buy the small snack, I then have an automated email or something that gets you to buy a bigger snack. Now that is a unique method inside Modern Maker, my consultancy, that I use to get people to do something. You might look at it as a fitness coach, for example, like you might help people lose weight without having to run, while also eating ice cream, or without having to cut out carbs, or, whatever it is in your world. You might do ghostwriting. Like when we did a lot of email marketing at the agency, it was only bottom of funnel. We didn't do anything top of funnel. When we were doing ghostwriting, was text-based bottom of funnel. So that was a unique method. So ask yourself, what is a unique method that I have that I can package up into a process? And you've likely already got that process going. So all you need to do is take that and put it into what I call a mini VSL. Now, if we're looking at complete strangers, they don't have time to go through a 40-minute clip. And I've made that mistake plenty, right? A mini VSL is called mini because it's like a video sales letter, which is like 8 to 10 minutes long at most. And I've got these on my YouTube. I've got these in my funnels. Somebody just wants to see, doesn't want your entire life story and who you broke up with in high school and where you did a poop on the sidewalk and, when you got hung over at a party. They just want to know, how does that unique method relate to them? So that was what my mini VSL did, and it's split into two worlds. Like, can I make someone resonate and can I make them feel relevant? Resonance is the story, right? I can tell you a story about living through the agency, which relates to you who's watching, because I was burnt out and time poor and had no time to live, right? Versus telling you the story about going to a party or when I got married or. So that mini VSL shares your unique mechanism, right? And gets them to feel resonant and relevant. Relevance is your method, the unique method that they see and they're like, oh, that works for me. And by seeing so many offers in Modern Maker, like just this week alone, I've probably seen over 100. I've shown you the 2,400 plus consult calls that I did as game plans. The data is showing that you don't need case studies when people can buy into your unique method. And of course, it helps if you do have them. They back you up. But if you're just getting started, that is the angling of things in a sophisticated market. So to recap, we've got a unique method, then we put it in a mini VSL, and then we give someone a game plan. So what you can do if you're looking at your own funnel is, once they've watched the video, down below you can offer a book a call. You can offer your Calendly, right? What I've done, which blew my mind, is I've now created the game plan tool, right? That's why GP here. That's my way of drawing ChatGPT. I'm in my dad era right now, doing my doodles and drawing with my daughter and markers and stuff like that. So the game plan, I've created this game plan tool. You can check it down below. I'll drop it. You can use it. It's literally $9 to create your own game plan. They've watched the mini VSL. They've been sold on your unique method. Now they need to create a plan, right? So a lot of people who came to me, I would actually sit through a 45 to 60-minute call and show them. Like, they would come and say, Jacob, I'm a independent consultant and I work in so and so niche and I serve these clients. And usually in my world, they used to just say, I need a funnel because I'm strapped for time. And we would create my little micro snack cartel, if you've heard. Like, the same is true when, this sparked from Netflix, because we watched Pablo Escobar's Narcos with my wife, and I saw him deal, like, give people small snacks, right, as a test, and then sell them the bigger snacks. So I led with the micro snack cartel in my world when I did game plans, and I showed them how we architect low ticket funnels to give people small snacks and then ascend them into bigger snacks. And I did that so many times that now I have the game plan tool, which is down below, that basically is trained on those 2,400 calls. And already sort of can tell, and it blows my mind how accurate it is, because it will create a game plan and tell you exactly what you need to do, whether it is low ticket or not, right? Like, that can deviate. And then give you the exact what to do. And now I can serve so many more people who previously couldn't afford the game plan call or wanted to get a bite into my universe. But primarily what game plans did is give people strategy, right? So that's why this third point is the most important. I've seen so many people, especially on LinkedIn and Threads maybe, or Instagram, sell low ticket products like PDFs or ebooks or Canva templates. And that is, I'm not going against that world if that is the world you're in. I'm just saying, if you want to be in a world where they buy low ticket and then ascend, those templates alone are not going to help someone ascend. And there was a big fundamental problem in the game plan calls I saw, where you create low ticket customers that don't become high ticket clients. The reason being, and the reason why this tool is why I'm leading into 2026, is because when somebody needs to consume something and there is an overconsumption, like you give someone a low ticket product and it's like 4 hours of a course, no wonder the completion rate is at like 11%, right? They don't have time, they're overwhelmed, you've just hit them with a brick of information, so they're basically where they started minus what they've paid you for the low ticket product. So once I saw that and I made the shift from information and consumption to implementation, then a lot of people took that on board and started implementing. And what I saw after that implementation happened is they then started to hit me up and go, Jacob, I've done the game plan, I've implemented, how do we get to the next step? So that is the most important thing that I've seen, where you give someone a strategy or you get someone to implement, they then start to move, they are in motion, they don't have to consume. And that's why tools like GPT or Claude or prompts or implementation first leads today's world. Information buyers, like, I'm not saying they don't exist, but the market has shifted with the rise of AI, and we can either adapt or suffer the consequences. And I too, over Black Friday, sunsetted over 54 of my products because I saw these little changes in the market. And thankfully, I, with my software background and whatnot, was able to build implementation first tools. Now, it's not rocket science. You don't need to have something crazy. Back in the day, it used to be a survey, right? A type form, a questionnaire, get someone to question something and then get them to move. Or just get them to take action. I saw a low ticket offer consultation in the fitness sector where somebody gave an 80-page ebook on the theory of losing weight. And it was like, brother, I don't want the theory of losing weight. Just tell me what I need to do to lose weight right now. That's what I mean by overconsumption. Get me the prompt, get me the guide, start me off. I want to start running, I want to start exercising. So with the game plan and the implementation first approach, you now get to get people who are moving and are in motion. Then what I saw was, let me just get the doggies in before we carry on. But what I saw here was basically the upsell that happened immediately after giving somebody the game plan. So I'm obviously an engineer at heart, and I always look at automation in ways that I could get someone moving. So point number 4 here is an automated sequence. What used to happen on the calls when I did game plans is I would just say, if you have an extra 10 minutes, I can run you through my offer. And that was verbal to start with. Next, it was like a Google Doc where I ran them through 3 steps. Like, first we do this, next we do this, then we do that. And I would either present the offer doc, send it after the game plan call, or run them through it at the end, and they would say yes. But that was a sequence of events where they had some objections, they asked me various questions, and I would handle them. So I realized, can I patch that up into a sequence of emails? And that ranges from 4 to 14, for example. Now, I'm somebody who sends a daily email, and I have done over the years, so my sequence is 4 emails. But somebody who's not into that world and just wants to convert, I would do like a 14-day email, handle all those objections, and help people basically get through the door, right? So that sequence of emails is designed to help somebody handle all the questions that they have and give a little bit of urgency, give a little bit of scarcity, if that is true, right? We're not going to create fake urgency or fake scarcity. What we want to do, for example, with me, I'm just one person, right? So my capacity is limited to 6 clients. I've now had a daughter. I'm careful of my time. So I will be honest that I am servicing 3, 4 one-on-ones. I only have spots for 2, and then I would build a wait list. So in my world, again, another finding, because I only do a 4-day sequence, is get someone to consume the thing first, right? People just sent me an invoice when they buy a low ticket offer. It's like, thank you for your purchase. Okay, I'm going to make sure that they consume it and remind them, ask them if they have questions, and then over those 4 days, I'm going to make sure they either consume it, they hit reply while they're consuming, and also show them results and tell them a quick story about somebody who did press the go faster button, right? Which is that 10% of the consultants. If I'm doing a 14-day sequence and I want to push people in my done for you, my done with you, my next level, I'm also going to be open about those results, those stories, those case studies, or what are some objections that people give you. Like in my world, it was a money thing, it was a time thing, it was basically not understanding the technical side and their involvement of it. So depending on what you're doing, you already know these objections because you've been through them. That's what that sequence is designed to do, right? And I've got a 50,000 audience on LinkedIn and 6,000 on my email list. What happened to me was I could literally have the doc and people would just buy straight from my email, but that felt inauthentic to me. I love it. That's why step 5 has its own little doodle, and that says keyword, right? Little baby raising their hand. At the bottom of that offer doc or in that email sequence, I get people to reply with a keyword. And when they reply with a keyword, I then open up a layer of intimacy. It's like an inbound DM, but happening every day. I get people to say, hey, fast lane. And I get a lot of fast lanes in my inbox, right? So when somebody DMs me that keyword, I then ask them to tell me a little bit about what they do, what their sector's about, who they serve in 2 or 3 lines to see on both ends, are we a good fit to work together? Before, I used to get people to pay me like 4 figures, and then they would come through and we didn't gel well, or it wasn't quite right. So by opening that sequence of events, I'm able to see, can I genuinely help you? And my response is usually, yes, I think this part of the document that you read would benefit you the most. Or, for example, in my world, a lot of people come from an organic background and they have a bit of a limiting belief when it comes to ads. And they have questions, and I myself don't run like crazy amounts of ads, but I would say I'm at a 90-10 split, and I explain what that 10% does in that thread, and I also ensure that I can deliver. So to summarize, I know we had some doggies and interruptions and things like that, but it is what it is. It is a beautiful Sunday here as I record this. The summary is we give someone a game plan, we ask them if they want to go faster, and that is the model that I am running with in 2026 and beyond, because people are in dire need of simplicity. And to do that, game plans in my world showcase your unique mechanism. In my world, it is my one post a day system inside Modern Maker, which has 3 pads: the offer pad, the leverage pad, and the post pad. And all of those things have a say in something, which I'll drop down below if you want to look at a different video about that. You show your unique mechanism in a mini VSL that's like 10 minutes long. Don't go overboard. You then pitch them a game plan, whether it is through a book a call or a GPT or whatever that may be. And then that triggers a 4 or 14-day sequence that basically shows your offer to them. And then they respond with a keyword if they are interested to work with you. You send them that, you close them, and happy days. So, game plan. Do you want to go faster? I hope that was useful to you. I'm going to do this so you can screenshot if you want to. Save that. And if you have any questions, you can shoot them down below and hit subscribe. Means a lot. I'll see you in the next video.